Hey folks, Quill18 here and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Dwarf Fortress. It has been some time since I've done a YouTube-only run of Dwarf Fortress. Mostly we live stream this game, and I have to say, it is an excellently fun game to play on a live stream. It's very dynamic. We name dwarves after Twitch subscribers. It's a really fun way to do it, but it's different when we play it on YouTube. YouTube gives us opportunities to do a little bit of work in between episodes, to maybe fine-tune things, to be a little bit less concerned about doing things in real time, which I think leads to a special kind of thing. And in any case, it has been far too long that we've had a Dwarf Fortress without a face cam in it. So for those of you who don't like face cams, hello. We're going to start a new world. And what I'm going to do is I'm once again going to play in a pocket world, because we recently did a pocket world run and it was so much freaking fun. There's something very up close and personal about being able to see and experience and interact with the entire world that I found very satisfying. Our goal of our last pocket world run was to eliminate all goblins. We didn't quite pull it off because, as it turns out, the Dwarf Fortress, right, the goblin capital, is led by, listen, I'm going to, minor spoiler here, is led by a demonic creature. And when you raid a site, all combat happens kind of 1v1. And 1v1, a dwarf is basically always going to lose to one of these super demon things, which is very terrifying. But apparently, and I've been doing some reading, apparently if you do send enough dwarves and demand a surrender from one of these sites, you might be able to get them to bend the knee without combat. And maybe that's a way we could have made it happen. So we're going to try this again. I think I might do a shorter history run as well, 50 years over here. I'm going to leave everything default except the minerals. On the Steam version, it does default everywhere, and that's what we've been playing with. I've been leaving the settings mostly default throughout things. But I'm going to go to sparse here, which is what the default amount of minerals used to be in the pre-Steam version days. And I think it'll make it that much more impressive and feel better when we do find some minerals. It might also force us to trade for some metal bars a little bit more often. So we're going to set that up and we're going to create the world. I have no mods running, although of course I am running DF Hack because I just can't live without that at this point. DF Hack lets you do all sorts of things in the game, including breaking it. But the biggest thing it does is it adds tons and tons and tons of quality of life features, which I absolutely adore. So we've created a new world over here after rejecting 12 worlds. 12 universes were constructed and torn down to get us to this world over here. The Planet of Dawning. How happy are we with it? Well, there really aren't a lot of sites. So it's a smaller island, fairly squarish, which might be a little disappointing. I actually think we might end up re-rolling this one after all. Just not sure if I love the shape. So here we've got our Dwarven capital. Everything's in the north. How interesting. Right, we've got a Dwarven capital here, and the human castle right next to it. We've got a bunch of hamlets. Now, some of these are human hamlets, some of these are just hamlets. But you also see Dwarven hamlets sometimes, so I'm actually, unless just the generic hamlet, maybe that is a Dwarven one. And then here we've got the Dark Goblin Fortress and their own pit here. Now, there's not a lot of sites. As we play, people will go and develop and explore some more. So we just accept it. I do like Planet of Dawning as a name. You know what? Sure. Let's go ahead and play this one. So we'll go into fortress mode. We're going to skip the tutorial. Yep, thanks. We're all good over here. And we're going to choose our embark location. So let's find one. I'm going to leave it at a 4x4 dimensions here. I'm not going to do too much. I will be looking for fluxstone. I don't want to deal with an aquifer today. And I would like there to be iron so that we have a chance of making a steel industry. Okay, we've got a few possible locations. Let's zoom in here. Now that's interesting here. We've got kind of a hilly area with a river flowing through it. That can always be fun. And then we've got a few other sites over here on flatter ground. I mean, mountainous river location feels fairly dwarfy, doesn't it? Oh, no. Oh yeah, I just escape out of here. I'm like, how do I get my my info again? So nearest sites, half a day's travel north are humans, and half a day's travel north also some goblins, which are hostile. We had iron, silver, copper, lead, fluxstone as well. No trees. Okay, we do have a few trees because we just touched the desert biome over here. And I don't know if coal were available, would it show up in here? I'm a little bit concerned that we might not actually have enough material to do our manufacturing. This is forest retreat. No soil. We definitely have trees here. Well, this is kind of fun because it's a double biome place with some mountain. Although the mountain biome doesn't seem to have any ore whatsoever. Only the southern part does. Ooh, I don't know how much I love that. Actually settle in the desert. It doesn't feel as dwarfy, does it? The fact that this mountain biome doesn't have anything going on. Smack down in the middle of 3 different sites over here. Let's just go further over here. I mean, this is not a bad place at all. Untamed wild. So we are going to have some fairly aggressive critters. They're not going to be evil, but they are going to be aggressive. You know what? I think this might be the place. I mean, I could also settle here and then just a little further south too. Now, wildlife might be very dangerous here. That's fine. What could possibly go wrong? Now, we are going to prepare for the journey carefully. So if I hit play now, we don't get the opportunity to name our site. We don't get the opportunity to pick and choose who we bring with us. So you could do it, and it's fine. Prepare for the journey carefully. Then you have to basically, more or less start everything from scratch. I'm going to use one of the save profiles. I actually don't know what's in here. I think these guys I think I downloaded or came with the F-hack. Profile 2, I'm wondering if this is one I made earlier and saved. I'm going to click on it and see what it gives us. Okay, normally, so this was apparently going to bring pond turtles, which isn't available, but that's okay. So tell us if there's an error. No skills. Oh no, some skills got assigned. No, I guess, yeah, 0 skills picked. Okay, no, all of them have been assigned some skills. So this person got the trader title, which I'm assuming is because, yeah, they have some social skills. What's going on here? A couple of miners, a woodworker, planter, stoneworker, doctor. Okay, this looks like the sort of assignments I normally work with. These dwarves will get nicknamed once we start. I'm using a DF hack plugin called AutoNick, which auto gives nicknames to the dwarves from a text file. That text file is populated with Twitch subscribers, and it's just a great way for me to, first of all, include the community, but also I have a much easier time remembering who's who when they have the Twitch usernames rather than all these dwarfy names, because they sort of blend in a little bit for me. Item-wise, so apparently we were going to bring some pond turtle stuff. That didn't happen, so we got some points left over. Let's take a look. We're kind of bringing some leather, some cloth. We've got a bunch of different seeds. I think these are set to 11, and that one's 12 for some reason. Oh, I probably had an extra point left over, so I put it in here. I think with seeds is, and it might be confusing. There's seeds, there's drinks, there's different things like that. But some of these categories, I think the drinks might be 5 drinks per barrel. So by bringing something that's like off of the multiple of 5 by 1, right? So this is 3 times 5 plus 1. I think we basically get an extra mostly empty barrel for free. So you'll see a lot of these things where there's kind of an odd number here, and the idea is to get an extra container for free. Not all of these are by 5, some are by 10s or 15s or 20. Like I don't know, but yeah, I think this is what I set up based on some other recommendations and things like that. Okay, so we've got some booze, we've got some seeds. How are we on actual food? We've got these meats, these plants. We're kicking off with some coal, which is going to be useful in case we don't find any. Help kickstart our metal industry, which is going to be fine. Some amount of threads. Yeah, no, this seems okay. So clearly we're not having as much meat as we wanted because we were going to bring some fish with us, but that's fine. I think I might just dump the extra points into just a bunch more plump helmet spawn. Just make sure farming has no issue immediately. Okay, what's our default fortress name? Flag Inks. No, I don't love it. Let's randomize a few times. Worked cloaks. Ooh, I don't mind worked cloaks. Do I want to just keep that? I kind of like worked cloaks. Our group name is the Palace of Enchantments. Sounds like a cheesy, like, magician place. The Machine of Sanctuaries. All right, I love it, actually. We can make our own group symbol, which there's no Brussels sprouts in the game. but they do have cabbages. So, and what is a cabbage if not a very large Brussels sprout? So, the cabbage is laboring. That doesn't, it's like, it's a cabbage working. Sure. That's going to be our symbol. That's going to be fine. Right. No pond turtles available. That's okay. All right. I think I'm happy with this. Oh, what kind of animals are we taking off with? I'm getting some phone buzzes. That's very annoying. Okay. A pair of yaks. I think because they can be shorn. Breeding pair of dogs, breeding pair of cats, which is always risky, and the boars and turkeys. So we're going to be ready to have an egg industry. We're going to be ready to have a meat and leather industry. Perfect. Okay, I'm very happy with this. Good job past me for doing this profile. I could have saved it with a better name than profile 2, but otherwise, that's going to be quite good. All right, let's embark. I got it set to do an autosave immediately, which is great. A Dwarven outpost. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all. Oh, I didn't actually check to see what my civilization name in English is, because that's what this is. We can check it, I think, on the world map. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt or plow or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the cougars get hungry. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Dusim Romlam, worked cloaks. Strike the earth. Let's take a quick look immediately. Okay, there are currently no critters about. That's good. But it has been implied that there will be some cougars, which is not so great. You can see our dwarfs have been nicknamed over here, which is great. So we've got Darth Sleepy and the Bard of Blarney, a couple of our miners. Goose and Sorrowful Panda are woodworkers and stoneworkers. Pick is our planter. Outer Moppet is our doctor, and Pyramid Bread will be our expedition leader. Of course, right now, people will mostly be doing a huge variety of jobs. We are going to be starting mining right away. I'm going to go and make sure that our 2 miners are set to only do these jobs over here. I don't want them hauling anything or gathering plants immediately. They're going to have to dig deeply and aggressively as quickly as possible. I'm going to go and zoom out a bit and try to get a sense of where we are. So we're on the side of a slope. I mean, it's certainly not a mountain or hill. So this is all level over here. And then as we go down, that's where our caravan is, and down, down, down to over there. I don't know about digging in sideways over here. It doesn't feel like a great mountainside for that. I'm actually thinking of digging straight down. Those are 2 options really to start our fortress, generally speaking. You're digging maybe into the side of a mountain, or you're tunneling straight down into things. I think tunneling straight down is going to feel better. Although this is loam, we're going to want to set up some farms. And there's a chance digging straight down that we won't actually. It's still on the whole side. There probably will be some loam. Do I dig in? Maybe I do, just so we can get the farms established, then dig straight down. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, though. Where your caravan is on your map generally is, well, I say generally, I think it is guaranteed to be the central point of your screen, right? Of your buildable area. That's where the caravan is. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to access the digging tool. And I'm not going to start digging immediately, but I'm just going to go down a few levels here. And then I'm going to click and click down. That's going to be our little marker for where the central point of our map is. Actually, I guess I'll dig. And the digging won't actually happen because it's not reachable. But now we know on any level where we are, that's roughly the center point of the map. All right, that's going to be great. How do I want this to look? I don't know. Let's start designating some digging and see how we feel about it. So there's a natural little gap in here that maybe we go and keep working on. And then, yeah, the hope is that there's soil over here, and we just set up some farms early on. I don't want to set up my base in a soily area because you can't smooth that. You know, it's not stone. It doesn't feel dwarfy enough. But setting up some early farms would be lovely. Maybe what we'll do is I'm going to dig out a few areas that are 3x5. And I like how, I don't remember if that was there the last time we played. The DF hack tooltip that shows you the size of the area you're digging is actually very, very appreciated. Let's do this. Actually, maybe we'll plan Something that looks a little like a doorway. It'll look nice. So we'll plan for that and then dig over here. And if we do fertilizer things later on, I think 3x5 is an optimal... Like, I think anything divisible by maybe 5 is actually optimized for, like, fertilizer use. I'd have to double check before we go. But I think that... Anyway, I don't even tend to use the fertilizer that often. I probably should more. Let's dig this out. This area here, it's going to be less of a hallway, and we'll probably just use it as actual our seed storage. We'll plan that. And then the idea will be we'll start a staircase going down. And we're going to have to think about where we're going to want our trade depot, too. Can a trade depot go over stairs? Or, sorry, caravans can't use staircases, but I'm wondering if they can traverse over stairs. It might not be able to. But we could maybe even plan on having an area over here that's going to be for the trade depot. I could plan ahead of time and build ramps, which the trade caravans would be able to use to get down into our base. It looks nice. Do I just want to do that right away? Not build a staircase, just build ramps immediately? We're kind of like maybe over-investing for the future, but I don't know. Well, I should really use a macro for some things here. Maybe it's fine. Dig down. Let's then build a 3x3 landing. This is on the wrong floor. Yeah, you're gonna dig down to here, get to the 3x3 landing, which is then gonna dig down to here. That's the wrong. Channel, channel, channel. 3x3 landing. You can see our little center point over there. Let's have that go into a 5x5 area, which will be the trade caravan location. And then we'll have a hallway that comes out over here. We can use drawbridges to seal this off. This is going to be a lot of mining to start off with, which is going to delay our base building, but so be it. And this area here, that's the center point of our base. I'm going to build a 3x3 a staircase there. It goes down. Now, hallways being 3 tiles wide is quite optimal for dwarves not bumping into each other and slowing people down. The 3x3 central hallway is more, or a staircase, sorry, 3x3 central staircase is bigger than is needed and maybe not actually optimized for various line of sight calculations for frame rate stuff and yada, yada, yada. I don't think I'll care. I think I'll leave it be and that's going to be okay. The question is, do I want this hallway to be a straight shot or do I want to do some little bendy things? I'm actually thinking we're going to leave room for a bend here because we could do something where we set up ballistas and things like that to shoot down this hallway as well. So what I'm thinking is we do stuff like this. It'll allow us to leave room for, we could do arrow slits, we can do things with ballistas. It'll give us some options later on for some defensive things. This is a heck of a initial mining job. So down on this level, let me cancel our little extra placeholders here. And then going up as well, from here, I'm just going to go and cancel that little mining thing to show the central place. So the central staircase is going to be roughly central on the map. What's interesting, even here, there's still a little bit of surface, which is okay. And then way down here, so down on level 28, sure. We're going to set up our, well, do we have to go down that deep? Maybe not. We'll have this. I will want to leave a couple of floors in case I want to dig out pits or anything like that. We'll go down to level 30. All right, level 30 is going to be our first workshop floor. So what's going to happen here is, well, cosmetically, now I might cancel some of these designations later just to make things happen in an order I want a little faster, or we'll play around with the priority system perhaps. What I'm wondering about, I'm going to intentionally leave a gap here so the mining doesn't happen. We can leave a nice double wall. If I do this, we can plan an area for some workshops. Workshops don't have to be in their own rooms, but I like to do it because it tends to look nice. Maybe like a 10x15 area over here. Oops. servicing 8 different workshops. A little entrance over there. Now, for walkability and optimization and things, we might want these workshops accessible from the outside hallway. I might not do that. Just because... Ooh, that music is intense. What song is that? Sweet Espanol Part 2. Okay. But I think this might look nice. And I'm actually wondering about building a mirror image of this on the other side. Now, we don't need quite this many workshops instantly, but we can use these for bedrooms and a dining hall early on. And then we'll excavate a living floor, possibly one level below this later on. All right, but if we set up something like this, now you don't actually need individual bedrooms immediately. You could just set up a barracks early on. That's going to be okay. I mean, your dwarves aren't going to be complaining about their mood too quickly. But that's not too shabby. I think what I'll do here is I will use the priority system. So let me set a 2 because I could still override it with something more. And fine. We're still on 2. Do this, and then these cross sections. And then you as well. And then straight down the middle here. Good. So that'll be prioritized that way. Once it gets down here, they'll mine down over there, which is good. And this is all priority 4 right now, which is okay. Then on the surface, I'm going to use the priority 2 here. The same sort of thing. This should mine out very quickly, because this should all be soft earth. Or we'll find out very quickly if it's not. Let's do that. Okay. And then, yeah, with our miners, they're set to just that, which is okay. What are the rest of the dwarves going to be do before we can pause? Well, let's set up a little bit of tree chopping around here. So we're going to want some wood. And we'll also set up some plant gathering. No, we can reset these priority systems. We're not too worried about that. We'll just gather some plants so we've got some early food. Make sure we're okay there. I mean, we brought some with us, but... There we go. Our spacebar didn't respond, so I'm like, wait, why do I have to do this manually? They're going to go and do that. Trees chopping is happening. Oh, we've got some grazing animals. Let's go before we forget and they start to starve. I'm going to go and make a pen pasture. Just stick it over here. And I'm just going to go and put all of our grazing animals in there so that they can go and eat, and that's going to be okay. Now, normally to assign in Dwarf Fortress to a pasture, you would do it this way. I find it's very frustrating. It's hard to know clearly if things have already been assigned somewhere else or all kinds of different things and which one of these actually need to graze. But luckily, like in so many things, we have DF Hack here to make our life considerably simpler. Just show me grazing animals. So we got a donkey and a horse. You get 2 random animals to pull your cart. So that's why we have a donkey and a horse over here, which might get butchered soon. We'll see. And then we got the 2 yaks we actually brought with us. These are all things that need to graze. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign all of those to here. That's going to be great. All right. Our miners are going to work here. And yeah, this is indeed some sandy loam. Not the most fertile of soil, but we will be able to set up our initial underground farms with that. That's going to be okay. I'm going to make a stockpile here immediately. This is going to be just a seed stockpile. And so I'm going to go custom. Under food, there is seeds. So I'm going to enable all seeds. And I'm just going to say, like, no barrels for this. I don't know if there's still, like, weird glitches and things with having seeds inside of containers that might cause us issues. But just to be safe, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, that's all been mined out with the higher priority. So I'm going to go into workshops, farming, farm plots. Set one up there. Set up one up there. Set one up there. Good. Good. And then someone who's been assigned to farming should come over here and work that. We could set up a... well, I think farming... Let's take a look at our labors. So planters over here. Yeah, no one's been specifically assigned to it. It's just set to everybody. Pick is clearly our miner here, or planter here. I could go and change it so that only they do it. it's better to have one dwarf sort of hyper specialize in things than have everyone dabbling in it. So we can say only Pick does it. Now Pick is still going to keep themselves busy doing other random jobs unless I click this. I think what I'll do is I'll click this now until the farms get established, and then I'll probably click it off because I don't think there's enough farming to keep Pick busy forever. But I want the farm plots to be built. There's our bagged seeds over here. Now, so I don't actually know if the barrels matter. I don't know. Do they put the bags of seeds in the barrels? Maybe that's where the issue comes up. Anyway, Pick's going to work over there, these farm plots. So you've been set up, which is great. So what are we going to set up for some of the farming over here? Well, we need to make sure we've got a consistent set of food coming in. I'd also like to get a cloth industry happening. Oh, well, cat has adopted the planter. Okay, well, I'm sure that's fine. It won't lead to a cat explosion at any point later on. So all these plots are done. So one thing you can do is plum helmets can grow year round, which is why it's the standard food / drink making plant of choice for your dwarves. Seems very efficient. We're going to go ahead and get our first farming field working on plum helmets all the time. There we go. Year round plum helmets. Now the second field over here, what I would like to do is make sure that our cloth industry is going to be supplied with pigtails. So in the summer and autumn, pigtails can grow. In the winter and spring, they do not. So we could grow whatever else. Dimple cups can be used for dye, so we could grow some of that. I don't know how much I care about it. What I might want to do is just grow some extra plum helmets in the winter and spring on this field. And then this last field over here, what we can do is grow something else that we might have around. Like how about we grow some cave wheat just to mix things up. You know what? We can throw in a little bit of dimple cups and then a little bit of sweet pods or something, just so we have a varied diet. What we're going to do later on, we're going to use DF Hack's Auto Farm to manage these crops. So what we do is we tell them, hey, keep like 50 of everything around. And what it'll do is enable and disable and move around the production queues for some of our farms to meet those targets, which is very convenient later on. And that's mostly like DF Hack is great for quality of life stuff, as well as some bug fixes. We'll look into it a little bit more later on. But in theory, hopefully I built these ramps correctly. Very easy to mess up, but I think we're okay. I probably didn't have to prioritize the trade depot area, but you know what? That's fine. We haven't hit any metal veins yet, which would have been nice to maybe have hit some. We know we've got some. Hopefully we just get lucky and find some early. But yeah, we may have to do some fairly extensive exploratory digging. What I might want to do here, actually, do a priority 2 job right straight down the middle here. And perhaps with the staircase as well. To here. There you go. Now, only one person can work on this. The other person's going to have to fill in the gaps, but that's okay. It's just going to guarantee that we push down a little bit deeper before we go and finalize all the side stuff. Okay. Once we get down, we establish our stockpile. We'll tear down the wagon and get some material out of that. We got lots of wood kicking around, which is lovely. I guess we probably have some idlers, don't we? Oh, they're gathering plants and things. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. That's okay. As long as they're busy doing something, that's fine. Because as I said, we could go and build our little butchering workshop. Okay, a couple of falcons. Well, hopefully not too much problem. I don't know if they steal things from us. That's good. We'll be going underground soon enough, I'm sure. And then Pick is busy doing some planting, which is lovely. Make sure we've got that cycling around. Is anyone assigned to fishing? We do. I actually don't need fishing. I don't think we need it on, so I'm just going to disable that. Pyramid, don't spend any time fishing, please. We struck amethyst and picture jasper? So we've run into some gems. Still no ore. Hopefully that'll be okay. Weather's cleared. Yeah, dig down. And the entire staircase has been designated a priority 2, which is more than we need, but I was being lazy, so what the heck, right? Yeah, I really should have just done this one tile right over here. And maybe the middle one as well to connect to the rest. But that's going to be fine. Everyone's still busy? Oh, no, we've got some no jobbers. Got all this wood. Do we want to build an early wooden palisade? We're not really going to get raided super early on. They might just have to be idle for a little bit. I hate the waste, but it's not really a big deal. We can't put anyone else on mining duties. Let's set up some hotkeys, though. Maybe this level over here. Let's set up a hotkey for, like, trading / entrance. Again, there might be traps and defensive things here later on. And then if we go down a little bit further to here, this is basically floor 1, or like our workshop floor. Although it'll be a little multi-purpose at first. So I can go F1 to the surface, F2 to here, F3 to there. And the surface includes our farms, which is nice. I think what I might do is just move the camera over 1 notch and then use that as, reassign. So now, there we go. This view is going to be, it's not centered on the wagon, but I think it's better for us. Keep an eye on this stuff. All right, this is starting to develop, which is great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a stockpile. It's going to be very tiny at first. This is going to be our catch-all stockpile until we get things with specific duties. So I'm going to click all over here. And if we take a look at the custom, it does everything except corpses and refuse, which is good. But it also includes stone, which I don't want to be part of this selection. So I'm going to go and turn that off. But otherwise, this can be used for absolutely everything. I don't think it'll need a wheelbarrow assigned to it because it doesn't have any stone. I don't think anything else is heavy enough to justify it. So I'm going to hit done over there. There we go. So now our idlers are going to start bringing things from the surface down below here. Our miners are still set to mine exclusively. Our planters still set to plant exclusively. I think he started the planting well enough there, pick. So we're going to go and turn off the exclusivity. If you keep planting, sure, that's fine. But if you get distracted by doing hauling jobs, I'm okay with that now too, because you've got yourself established. What do you need to give water to immediately? Goose? Is someone injured? What? Why do you feel like you need to give water to someone? There hasn't been a combat report or anything. We have booze. We started with some. I'm confuzzled. So what we're going to do, as this space clears out a little, we'll just increase the stockpile size a little bit. Just make sure to keep people busy with that. And yeah, already we've got some space here for our workshops. So what are we going to set up first? Well, I think we'll go ahead and set up the basics. Let's go in our workshops. A stoneworker over there. Right next to it, which I don't need instantly really, but I'm going to put a craft workshop here because what we're going to do is we're going to put a stone stockpile right next to those two. The other thing we need very early on is a carpenter to make wooden things for us, which will be beds, which can only be made out of wood. In the default Dwarf Fortress. But I also like to use wood for bins and barrels because wood is very light, so it doesn't add extra weight to those hauling jobs. So I think that's a very good idea to get that going there. Yeah, dig out the rest of these workshops, and then they'll dig out, whatever at that point. Although I guess maybe what I'll do, let me add a priority 3 dig to everything here. I know it's going to overwrite some of the priority 2. I guess then I can priority 2 little central hallway again. Okay. Just because I want the rest of this stockpile space to be cleared out before everything else. Okay, I think that's very lovely. Well, let's keep going until this initial area is dug out here. And then, yeah, here what I'll do is I'll probably use these temporarily for bedrooms. Unless, I just go and make a dormitory. What I could even do is just this place, which will be a hall later on. I could just make this the dorm for now. Especially, we're going to get our first migrant wave. We get it in the summer, right? I think we get an automatic migrant wave in the summer. So we're going to go from 7 dwarves to 15, maybe 20. Maybe not 20, but maybe around 15. And we're not going to have the opportunity to set up all the individual bedrooms right now. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. So let me do another, say, priority 3 on this area and right here. This will be a temporary dormitory. Yeah, all right, I like that. Reset that back to 4 for various jobs later on. So we didn't hit a single metal vein. That's not great. We may be forced to do a lot of trading for metal ore with our capital, which will definitely hurt our military. We know we embarked on a place that does have iron. What is it? Tetrahedrite over here, I think, is copper and lead. I can never remember. Oh, hold on. There's a tetrahedrite and silver and copper. Oh, that's quite nice. So copper's not the ideal metal for military gear because it's not super. Is there combat? Dog and a kangaroo man are fighting. Huh. Well, they did say it was scary environments. I think we will have to go and like blockade ourselves fairly early, won't we? Wow. Okay, we have a stockpile going. There's still a bunch of crap in here. We'll wait until this is a little bit more empty, then we'll tear down the wagon. Now, obviously, we'd like to make our walls and stuff out of stone, but it's going to be a while before we have the stone. And at least the wood builds very quickly. Yeah, I think we're going to plan to get our wall in fairly early. So we're going to go build, construct walls. Now, I'm going to use DF Hack's planning mode over here, which is going to be... It's so much nicer to draw everything out. It's so good. Material-wise, right now, I don't want to use blocks because they're heavy and we'd rather... sorry, I don't want to use boulders. If I have blocks, I would love to use them, but I don't actually have any available. I think what I'll do is I'll just, for now, I'll force the logs thing, which is going to be okay. So we're going to build a quick wooden palisade. I'm going to build it kind of as close in as possible with the ideas that we'll build an outer stone one later on. If we take a look at our zone being there, you know what? I think that's probably a good place to draw the line. So it's right where this blood patch is, we'll use that as a baseline. Now, I'm a little bit worried that the kangaroo men might cause my dwarves to have like a fear reaction, which wouldn't be ideal. So we'll draw that, and then in line with my hallway over here, we're just going to go and cancel those 3 constructions. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is remove stairs and ramps, because otherwise people would just be able to walk in from the upstairs down here. Now, they might still be able to do a climb. What we'll do is we'll probably build a roof over this area later on. I don't think that's going to be the grass growth, because Dwarf Fortress is kind of funny with the way that it considers like outdoorsness and lit areas and things like that. I think we can roof over there and prevent things from climbing down, as well as let me chop that tree down, as well as standing up here and shooting at us. So that'll probably be something we work on fairly early. I don't know if the kangaroo men will go up and down the cliffs. I think it's mostly like if we were actually invaded by something, that would be an issue. We're going to want to build a drawbridge over here as well. So we're going to plan for a bridge and have it close this way. And I'll do a little 2x3 bridge over here that can be pulled up and sealed down. A lot of times I do 3x3s because it feels better, but I think we're going to have to make sure to be a little bit more materially efficient. This also tells me we're going to need a mechanics workshop fairly early, because we're going to need mechanisms to build a lever so that we can seal the drawbridge if we want. Okay, that's done. Well, oh, the mechanisms will also be used for traps, so we might not pull up the drawbridge, but since this will be the only entrance, if I build some traps here, now I won't be able to cover this, because if I do, wagons won't be able to come in, but I could do a big line on both sides over here of traps, which will catch most things, unless something runs right down the middle by coincidence. It'll catch most things in a trap. So that'll probably be our early defense plan over here on a map that's apparently a little bit scary. You know, I think this is a time for us to put in a cut. We're about 40 minutes into this video. I'm really happy to be playing Dwarf Fortress again. And I think I'm going to appreciate the somewhat more chill vibe that a YouTube thing can come, because I'll have time to think and breathe in between. There's a possibility what I'm going to do in between episodes here is I might set up some early orders and things like that as well, and just try to keep things a little bit more organized, you know, fix up this this stockpile, set up our stone stockpile, that sort of thing. If you are new to the channel, of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And in general, hitting like and leaving a comment on a video is a really good way to improve the situation for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.